Happy Monday, knitters. I'm Louise from Wildflower Wool, and welcome back to my channel. It's Monday again. I am back here with two new projects, some updates on last week's projects, and I've got some really exciting things to show you. I'm really excited about what my new starts are for this week. But before we go into the new starts, let's talk about last week's dishcloth. There it is, all finished. It is the super simple diamond dishcloth pattern. The yarn is Bernat Handicrafter. I think it was called Mistletoe Twist. It's a discontinued yarn. I have a few balls of it in my stash and I really like it. Just a multicolored red, white, and green. Kind of looks like a crushed candy cane, doesn't it? Anyways, it was a fun knit as always. I did this about the same size as the large dishcloth I did last week. I went up to 47 stitches, which is wider in stitch count than I normally do for a dishcloth, but this yarn was a smidgen on the thin side, so I couldn't go to my set stitch count because that caused my first dishcloth last week to be a little small. So I went up to 47, and I have a dishcloth that is about 8.5 inches square. I think this is the size that I'm going to aim for. I think I might have said on one of the other videos I was kind of going for 7.5 inches. I think I want to make it a smidge bigger. I like this kind of 8 to 8.5 is kind of the ballpark I'm going to end up with. So another gift dishcloth to go in my Christmas box. The other new start I've got a lot of knitting sitting on my table here. This is what I want to show you next. There's the start of the hat. When I showed this to you last week, I think I had just the cast on started, and look, it just as luck would have it where the ball started, I got this nice the gray, what is that? I guess it's, yeah, so I get looks like the full stripe of it, and I just had a little bit at the beginning of the ball, which just edged the cast on really nicely. This is what the ball looks like. This yarn came from Michael's. Holly and Cranberries, I think, is the colorway, and it is a craft yarn. It's craft something. I can't remember exactly what the name of it is, but it is a very economical, cheap yarn from Michael's, but the yarn feels nice. It doesn't have that plasticky, squeaky feeling to it. It's a nice, soft, 100% acrylic, and the colors are really fun. Isn't that great? My son actually requested this knit into a hat. So there it is. I just took some measurements of his head. Actually standing in Michael's. I measured the circumference around and from the bottom of his ear to pretty much the top of his head to kind of get an idea of how big I needed to knit this hat for him. So there it is. I like how it's knitting up. I think I did. I'm following my super simple hat pattern. I did my ribbing, I increased, went up to a larger needle size. Now I'm knitting around, and I'm at the point where I'm going to do the decreases for the top. This will only take not very much, and it'll be done. I'm gauging everything by length of Christmas movie time. I'm thinking, let's take like half a Christmas movie and I could have this finished. Probably. I just need to sit and do it. But I got totally distracted by the candy cane candy cane scarf. So let me show you what I've got. The balls still look pretty big, you guys. This is the Red Heart Super Saver. This is kind of the squeaky yarn. Definitely not my favorite to knit with, but the colors look really great together. The balls, I still have like a bazillion yards of yarn left in these balls. And here's the scarf. So this is where I'm at. Look how long it has gotten. There's the end. So it's knit on the bias. So you can see, if this is your first time seeing this scarf, you can see how it's shaping. And I like doing the I-cord edging. That's what I've been doing on here, all the way up. So that's what it looks like. Whoop. Looks pretty. Just gives that multicolored edge on there. Hides the yarn that I'm carrying up the side. I like it. And look at red and white. Doesn't it totally, well, I think it looks like a candy cane. I like it. I really, really like it. And I have no idea how long it is. I just know, ooh, it could be a cowl almost, couldn't it? But I want to knit a really long scarf that I can wrap around a couple times. So it's coming along good. This is a really fun knit, really easy. And only once have I had to pull out because I got carried away and I started to make my row wider. And I only got partway across the row and I stopped and looked at it and I'm like, nope. So I pulled my needle out, pulled out the stitches and just picked up and switched my color and carried on. But I'm pretty impressed. Now I probably have totally just jinxed myself, but I have not. But I haven't made a mistake. I haven't made, oh no. I'm so paranoid. Every time I look at it, I'm afraid I'm going to look partway down and I'm going to see a stripe that's either wider or narrower than the others. But I'm taking really close, paying close attention and making sure that that does not happen. Fun knit. Fun, fun, fun knit. And I can't wait to wear this. So that's going along great. That is perfect TV. Perfect Christmas movie knitting watching. The other thing, I have a finish to show you. My cowl. My Noro cowl is done. So look at that. It's lovely, except you know what? I don't like the color. I bought this yarn thinking it would be a great color for somebody for a gift. And it probably will be, but oh my gosh. And some of you are probably saying, oh, that's really pretty. And you know what? It is. And it's got like a heathery, can you see in there like there's some blue and there's some orange flecks in it, which makes it pretty. But this pale pink, not my color at all. But look, it's done. It ended up being, okay, let me go backtrack. I knit this on a 6mm needle. It was a worsted weight Noro cotton and silk blend. I doubled it. I held 2 strands together. That's why I went up to the 6mm needle. I cast on 31 stitches. I worked just a plain seed stitch for 25 inches and I seamed it. You guys, are you ready to see the seam? I cannot tell you how excited I am about this seam. I had told you last week I was going to try to crochet it. I tried the mattress stitch seam and I just didn't like with the seed stitch the seam. It didn't look near as nice as it should have, like the way it does in garter stitch or stockinette. I just couldn't, I just wasn't having luck getting the seed stitch to match up, and it just seemed like a lot of work to try to match up my knits and my pearls and whatever. So I got this idea, crocheting it together. And I don't know if I said I was going to do like a single crochet. I had looked up something on YouTube and it was showing me like holding both my pieces like this and then putting your hook through the yarn on this side and pulling a loop through and then going over to this side. I don't know. It was kind of, you were going back and forth. Anyway, somebody, I don't know who left me the comment, but they said, Louise, do a slip stitch. Crochet, a crocheted slip stitch. I always get the crocheted terminology all mumble jumbled up. Anyway, so crochet slip stitch. So I did a quick YouTube search on that. You guys, I did it. And I think it looks pretty good. So it does. There's a nice seam, but that's okay. That's exactly what I was wanting, was just a nice line down there to be a pretty looking seam. Actually, I didn't really even look on the inside. Okay, so that's what my inside looks like. So there's not even a ridge. I thought for sure there would be a little ridge, but there's not. I'm impressed. So I don't know if I did it, you know, maybe it could have been a little neater, but I don't know. For my first try, I think it's pretty straight. I think it looks pretty good. I like it. I'm really happy. I learned something new. I used my crochet hook. I think before, I don't know why I was thinking about this as I was seeing it. I don't know why I have never really done any crocheting together pieces like for Afghans or anything. And I think it's just because the word I got stuck on crochet, and I was like, nope, I don't crochet. I'm not going to do that. So I'm really glad that I gave this a try because I'm going to do it again on my next project, and I'll show that to you in a second. I like it. I'm very happy. So the cowl, and it fits good. Okay, should I try it? I'll try it on. Put my fancy seam right at the back. So look at that. So it ended up, did I say it? So I said 31 stitches, which ended up being 10.5 inches deep. 10.5 inches this way and 25 inches around, which I think works out perfect because it's not super too tight, but I could also, if I wanted to, if it's a snowstorm like it's supposed to be tomorrow, and if I was keeping this for myself, I could always pull it up. I don't know. I like it. It's bunchy. I like how it looks. What do you guys think? I like it. Now, to get it back off without catching my hair in it. So that is that. And, oh, that was actually warm. That felt good. I liked it so much that I've cast on another one. Similar, but a little bit different. So this is the first start for this week. I went to my neatly organized shelf down here to where my chunky weight yarn is. And I had these balls of marble. Remember I knit a blue sweater out of this yarn, and I had lots of balls left over. So I grabbed one off the shelf and I thought, I'm going to try it. I'm not going to try it. I'm going to do another cowl. So this is what I've got. I'm doing seed stitch. I seem to be on a seed stitch kick right now, but I switched this to a double seed stitch. So it is knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. And what I find when I'm doing double seed stitch, I find it works better if I have an even number of stitches. When I'm doing just a regular seed stitch, an odd number works well. But this one here, I made sure I had an even number. There, you can see the texture there. And I wanted it to be a multiple of 4 because it's knit 2, purl 2. So there it is. Look at that. I love the texture double seed stitch gives you. And can you see the other thing I did on here? I put a buttonhole. So, Nina, if you're watching, I did, well, no, I didn't, you know, it's totally funny because I have a friend, Nina, who messaged me after I showed you guys my pink cowl last week. And she said, oh, I'm thinking about doing, I have this picture of a cowl and I'm going to try to see if I can do this. I think it was for a gift for her daughter. And she sent me the picture. She said, do you think I can do it? I'm like, of course you can do it. And what I thought was really funny is that I had thought about doing, I had the exact same picture of a cowl. It's a cowl with buttons on it. And when I was doing this pink one, I had thought about that idea. I'd kind of thought, maybe I would, instead of, where's my fancy seam gone? Instead of seaming it, I thought about putting buttons on here, but I was too gung-ho to knit it, and I just got knitting and didn't put buttonholes or anything on it, and I just carried on. But the thought, I had never lost the thought, because I had some buttons. I have a nice little button stash that I thought I could use buttons. So when Nina and I were chatting about this. I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. So I cast on tonight after work. And again, I'm still going for the same depth, around 10 and a half, 11 inches. I don't think I want to go any deeper than 11. And I just totally eyeballed where I put the buttonholes. I just kind of figured I thought, yep. I just literally looked and thought, okay, yep, I'm going to guess that that's going to be about where I want my buttonholes to go. I did 2 buttonholes. I'm kind of wondering if I should have done 3, but there. I don't know. This is just going to be my prototype again. I always find I actually have to knit it. Just kind of drawing it out or sketching it just doesn't quite, I can't visualize that whole concept. I actually have to knit it. So that's roughly where my buttons will sit. And I don't know, maybe I should have moved the button up a little bit. But you know what? We'll just try it. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. I don't know. We'll see. The only way I'm going to know is to do it, right? So that's my thought process anyways. Just do it and try it and adjust on the second one if I think I need to. But I like this. I really like this. I love the texture. And I'm just starting to get into a different shade of blue. You can just kind of start to see that blue striping come into effect there. So I can't wait to see how that's going to look. Oh, this was really fun. Oh, and I have one more new start to show you. My dishcloth. Oh, I'm going to have to find new needles, you guys. I was knitting this, and I have used the same 2 wooden needles since January to knit my dishcloths. And one of my wooden needles has got a little catch on it. I was knitting with this yarn. At first I thought, okay, maybe it was just the yarn. But then I really felt on the needle, and I can feel a little catch. And I'm like, ugh. Anyways, we'll talk more about that in a second. But look at my Christmas yarn. These, again, were just 2 random balls. Probably, I'm sure they're Bernat Handicrafter as well. Been in my stash for like a gazillion years. Yes, and I think they're both silver speckles. I was actually thinking, no. The light in here is not all that good right now. But I think it almost looks gold, but I'm pretty sure it's silver. And the white has got some silver in it too. Can you see? Can you see that? I'm not sure if it's showing up or not. Anyways, red and white. And I thought, okay, I wanted to do a 2-color dishcloth for this week. And I'm really excited about this. I went back to my pattern that I did a while back, the garter stitch slip stitch pattern. And I did it 2-colored. And look how that is knitting up. I am really liking it. It's like little polka dots almost. Looks like, or like, almost looks like little baubles or something, doesn't it? So what I am doing, this pattern fit my dishcloth criteria for being easy to read. You don't need a pattern. You can read your stitches. You could do it at knit night. Even doing it 2-colored. Actually doing it 2-colored probably makes it even easier. So it's a 4-row pattern. And the red is just 2 rows of knits. And then when I switch to the white, I am doing a slip knit, slip knit, slip knit. And turn it around and do another row of white, slip knit, slip knit, slip knit. And then 2 rows of knitting with the red. And with the slip stitch, that's how you get the alternate colors. Isn't that fun? I was really happy with this. Everything I'm really happy with right now, this dishcloth, the new blue seed stitch, and keeping going on my candy cane scarf. I don't know which one I want to work on the most. because they're all really, really fun. They're all really, really easy. They're all great movie knitting, movie watching and knitting projects. And knock on wood, I have not messed any of them up yet, thankfully. But isn't that pretty? I really like that. I think that's going to make a nice little Christmas gift for someone as well. Oh, my needle problem. And it's this dark one. So remember, I've knit all this whole year on these two mismatched needles. I was working on this tonight and I could feel something catching, but I honestly thought at first it was this crazy yarn because, can you see? It's not really showing. Is the red better? Anyways, this red yarn with the sparkle in there, it really, okay, here, right at the very end. It's just, the metallic part is just, I don't know, it's just wrapped around the yarn. And there, can you see that? It comes up, it separates from the yarn. So it's almost like you're knitting with two strands. When you're putting your needle in the stitch, you've got to make sure that you're catching this piece as well as the yarn. It's a little annoying, to be honest, but it knits up nice. So when I first was feeling that catch, I thought, okay, maybe that metallic-y yarn is, I don't know, it's wrapped around, or it's catching, I don't know. But the sad truth is, what did I do with that needle? Okay. Anyways, when I was feeling on the needle, I could feel just a little catch in the wood. So I don't know if I could try it, like get a nail file or a piece of really, really fine sandpaper or something and sand it. I might try it because I have nothing to lose, because I'm going to have to just toss the needle if I can't get rid of that little catch on it. So I don't know. Has anybody else had that problem with wood needles? I think I've had it happen a couple of times before, maybe once, maybe twice over the years. I don't know. Is that just actually too much wear and tear on the needle, or does it just happen with wood needles sometimes? I'm not too sure. But anyway, I'm going to try that just to try to lightly sand it and get that little edge off it and see if I can save my beloved dishcloth knitting needles. Anyways, yeah, it's this one. I'm not sure. Right there. Oh, I can actually see it. You guys probably won't. I can see it's like a little light spot right there. Anyways, I don't know. Have to do knitting needle surgery on it. See if I can resurrect my needle. But yeah. Can you even see it? Like, I can see it right there. It's right where that light spot is where it's catching. Anyways, this needle may be destined for the, I don't know, garbage recycle bin. I don't know, burn pile. I don't know what. But anyways, I'll have to figure out my knitting needle. I'll try to file it down. If not, I will just have to go up here and look for, you know, the matching needle to this one. So that's it. That is my knitting for this week. I've got Christmas knitting, well, three Christmas yarns on the go, which is very festive, I think. Kind of Christmas presents, Christmassy. It is, tomorrow is December 1st, so it is like full Christmas knitting mode now. So how's everybody's Christmas knitting coming? Your gift giving? Is it close? Anybody else? I should probably be starting to stress about my Christmas knitting, but I'm not yet. I still am in this delusional thinking that I have tons and tons and tons of time. It'll be good. So I'm not worrying too much about it yet. So I hope nobody else is out there either. And tomorrow is December 1st, so I'm going to be back here. I'm going to try really, 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 really hard to do a short little video every day for Vlogmas for December. So fingers crossed that happens. If I miss a day here or there, it's probably because of my work schedule, because I work long days. So we'll see. we'll see how it goes, but I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to be back here tomorrow with more knitting talk. So I hope you got some knitting done while we've been visiting. So get ready, and I'm going to see you every day for the month of December. This is going to be a lot of fun. So happy knitting, everybody, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.